Hey parents, teachers, caretakers, and grandparents. Thanks for sending some of those messages. Ask George Uncle, right, at gmail.com. That's the email, children.teens@gmail.com, or my WhatsApp or anywhere. Send me a question that I can answer. I have a very difficult question here today. My husband died during COVID, and my two children, one girl and one boy, they are both teenagers now, 13 and 14, and they are not listening to me. I feel like I need to marry again to help with these teens, but I'm confused. There are many who are telling me, saying, because there is no father there, these two teenagers are not listening to you. You need to have a man in your life. But I'm very confused. Should I marry again to help these teenagers or not? Please help. It's a very difficult question. Very difficult question. But even before I go into any of those details, I'll just share two very basic principles. One basic principle is this. Please do not marry for something to be fixed. No. If you're going to marry something to be fixed or something to get fixed, you'll end up in a serious mess. Be careful about it. There are several situations like that I've been dealing with recently, that people have married to fix certain things, or sometimes to prove to the relatives or prove to the world, saying, yeah, I'm okay, I want to move on with my life, and things like that. But they're losing their children, So please don't marry for you to fix that situation. One. Two, even before you're thinking about marriage, I'm not against remarrying. No, I'm not against. If God gives you peace and you feel comfortable, feel free. Talk to one of your brothers, sisters, or your parents and see how things can work out. I'm okay. But I want to say this. Before you get into that decision to get married, see how your relationship is built much more deeper with your teenagers. Maybe they're hurting too. Maybe they're seeing some of these talks too. Maybe they're also hearing some of these talks of people saying, you need to get married. See, I've said this several times. Many a times you see some of these teenagers behaving like this in rebellion, not listening and doing things and all of that. It's not misbehavior, it's fear behavior. They're afraid what might happen. I can't imagine these two teenagers in that place, are afraid when they're hearing people talk to their mother and saying, you may have to get married. They're afraid who might be the other father. They're afraid they may not even be willing to accept another father. They might be, if they were very close to the father, it might be very difficult for these two teenagers. It might be very difficult. So I want to say this. Please listen very carefully. Connect with your children. Secure them. Build that trust, that they begin to trust you, and they, out of the relationship, they should look at you one day and say, Mama, I think it's okay if you get married, but be careful. Maybe put it in a very humorous way also. I wish the children come to you and just say, who is that person? Can we also see? When we approve, maybe you marry. If we don't approve, please don't marry. Win that kind of a trust with your children. At the end of the day, it's your children. You trying to bring one man to fix it, it might work, it may not work, but be careful. I think the most important thing to get to the basics. What's the basics? You building that trust with your teenagers. That's the basic. So you spend time with them. Don't sit there and allow some of these talks to come. Maybe even tell some of those people saying, please, in front of my children, don't even talk like that. And see how you can reclaim that ground. Maybe go on a weekend trips, spend time, create memories that will last for a lifetime, where your children will start enjoying you and building that trust, and they might even start sharing some of their fears. They might even start sharing what is going on in their mind. They might even start sharing some of the things that they're afraid about, some of these statements that they have heard, some of the conversations they have heard. Then you might be able to understand what the key issue is, what the root issue is. So I'm okay you getting married, but first reclaim this ground. See how you can build a relationship with the children before you try to bring somebody else to get the situation. May God give you grace. But don't leave your children. They are teenagers, before they cross 15, 16, 17, you may totally lose them after that. See how you can reclaim that ground. Build that relationship. Whatever it takes, that should be your priority. Thank you. God bless you.